explain the time that the Germans invaded your home in Albania and you were forced to leave. Just explain all your memories of that.
Well, I had left the town and went to the mountains for 2 weeks because they were bombing my town. And when I came home back to my house to find my mother told me that the house was taken over by the Germans, and they gave us only one room to stay. And the Germans, they were not very, very nice to me because they thought that we were lying by my father not being there with us. They thought that he was hiding someplace, and they didn't treat us very, very nice. Then, when the communists took over Albania, that's when I escaped from Albania and I went to Greece. And the police in Greece took over me till they found my sister and my brother-in-law, and they brought me to them. And 2 years later, when I went to Greece, I came to America because I was an American citizen through my father. And in America, when I came, my father took me over, who I never knew him. And you know, it wasn't very nice. I was very, very sad because I had left my mother and the rest of my family, and it was completely different for me living here in America.
So did you feel sad leaving them in your home
Yes,
forever? Were you scared?
I felt very, very sad, and I was always sad. And I was also sad when I got here because I never knew my father, so he was like a stranger to me. And everything was completely different. It wasn't easy for me to stay here. And
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question about
yeah.
the marriage. So, what was it like growing up around women that got married at such a young age, like your mother and your sister?
Yeah, it was difficult because my mother always said, she never loved my father. She only married him because her mother and father made her marry my father.
What age did she get married?
14.
14.
And she had her first child when she was 15. And my father was in America, and he made 4 trips to Albania. And my mother became pregnant each time, and she had 4 children. And the last one was me. And I was 14 years old when I saw my father.
Okay. About women's rights, growing up in either America or Europe, were women's rights different, and how so?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it was, very different because women, at that time, women didn't have any rights, really. They had to obey and do what the husbands said. And my mother, because my father was here, he wasn't at home. He would only financially help my mother financially, and she had to, just do whatever he would write to her and tell her to do.
So they really didn't have the rights like they do today? They couldn't go out and get a good, successful job?
No, they had to stay home, and take care of the children and the house and everything else.
Okay, another question about when you came to America, did people judge you for being a foreigner, or what was the hardest experience from being a foreigner and coming to America?
The hardest one was not speaking English. And then when I went to school, the kids, because I was young enough and I had to go to school, And that's when I stopped going to school because the kids were making fun of me because I didn't know any English.
Yeah.
And you know, and then as far as the job, when I became, I think, 15 or 16, I was able to get a job.
Did people ask you a lot of questions because of your accent and because of where you came from?
Yeah,
All right, I think that's all.
and okay, so you don't want to know about the job?
You can talk
Like
about
when
it.
I got a job. Yeah, I got a job as a sales girl in Barasini Candy. It was very famous then.
Yeah.
And later on, as I was learning English better, I was promoted on my job to assistant manager I was still a sales girl, but then I became assistant manager, and I like to decorate windows, and they used to send me in different stores to decorate windows. And although my English, was not that great, still I had, I liked the job very much.
All right. Thank you.